ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Premier Hotspur with your hosts, Guy and Matt.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Premier Hotspur TV. It's your man Simon, North of England's biggest Spurs fan. Yes guys, we're back again with another match preview. Me and Matt ain't been on for ages. It seems like we've been away for so long.
That's a bit,
yeah. Calculations and things like that. I couldn't see a point of doing anything else. I've been busy as well. So has Matt. So I couldn't be bothered bringing up anything else. But Matt, the co-host, is in today. Matt, how's it going?
Yeah, no, I suppose not too bad, mate. Maybe apart from England being battered in Australia, but that was kind of always going to happen, I think. But yeah, I hope everyone's well. Obviously, it's a bit of a messed up, situation we're all in at the moment with football, being cancelled left, right, and centre, and I just hope everyone, hopefully has a good Christmas, and but rumours of lockdowns and things like that, coming back, may not have a choice, maybe, but obviously I just maybe want to say as well, just I hope Bob Spur gets well soon, and all from here
absolutely.
we just wish him a speedy recovery. It's a serious matter, and if you haven't had your booster jab or you haven't had your second jab yet, definitely go and get it, because it's serious stuff this now, and I think we all just want to go back to a bit more of a normal world. But yeah, sorry for negative over, and hopefully, just a good show. And we've got a good guest on, today, and I'm looking forward to it. Should be good.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I agree you with Bob's there. Shout out to Bob's, and shout out to Kim as well, who's looking after Bob's, keeping everyone up to date with everything. And Brian Daigle coming away from Toronto again to come see Bob's, absolute legend. So, guys, be safe and let's get Bob's well again, getting back on stream again. We have got a special guest today, guys. Let's get into the match preview. It's a Liverpool fan. He's been on before. Good lad, Jake. How's it going, pal?
Hello. I'm all good. Bit of monarchy with all the Premier League.
Jake, can you turn your phone or webcam the other way, or?
Is that better?
Superb. Here we go. That's better, pal. There you can actually see you now.
There you go.
How's it going, Jake?
But yeah, all good. Hopefully, so we've got a bit of football talk rather than postponements and COVID. But let's go with the show, and hopefully we've got a game of football to talk about today.
Absolutely. As I said, Jake, you probably know Spurs is protected. We haven't played. We've gone for a couple of weeks now, and it's been frustrating. But when this kicks in, mate, got nothing. We can't do nothing about it. And let's hope we can get this game on stay. Get the players back out there. So Jake, after Liverpool's good run of form at the minute, good run of form, do you come here confident today against this Tottenham side who ain't trained much, who ain't played much? So the fatigue will kick in at some point in this game. Or was it the other way around?
Maybe a bit of both. We're on a good run of form. I'd say we're playing well. Since the West Ham game, I think we've won every game. I think it's 6 in a row in the league now since West Ham. So good run of form. We just seem a lot more fluid in attack at the moment. Obviously, I think we've scored something like 70 goals already this season. I think the whole of last season we've got 91. So obviously there's fluency in our play at the moment in terms of attacking play. But I don't know, because obviously you know what we'll expect from us, but maybe from your perspective, I haven't got a clue what Spurs will do today, because obviously, is it Norwich?
We haven't. We're still in the dark over this lineup, me and Matt and all the rest of the Spurs fans. We don't know. But Matt, before we bring you in, mate, let's get into the comments. Cole Simpson's in the house. Yes, Cole. Afternoon, gents. If the game goes ahead, we are beating Liverpool today. Confident Cole, always confident Cole on it. Derek, how's it going, my friend? Afternoon, guys. Edwardson, hi guys, how's it going, pal? Paul says Mo Salah is out. I don't know how true that is. I've heard things on Twitter just before I come on. There was rumours going around that Salah is infected with COVID. So we don't know what's going to happen with Salah today. But that will be a massive, massive, massive plus for Tottenham. Unfortunately, a massive miss for Liverpool. So, guys, keep your comments coming, guys. If you want to ask Jake any questions or me and Matt, come in and ask us, guys, and we'll try and answer them as good as we can. Matt, the question on there, mate. How will this affect the Spurs players, mate? Not playing, I mean, just for a few weeks now. It looks like they've been restricted to home gyms and home training. On myself, Hotspur Way's been closed down. So Conte ain't had the players to work with. I'm sure he's been contacting them personally through phone. And so, how does it affect Tottenham today, mate? Going against the Liverpool side, I've been playing regularly. They're on form. They're banging in goals. So how does it affect Spurs today?
I mean, we don't really know, I suppose, until the game really gets kicked off, and we're maybe about 20 minutes, half an hour in. But I mean, you could look at it two ways. There's positives and negatives. Obviously, the rest could do us good. Some of the players may just need that sort of rest. But I suppose the negative could be you don't know the severity of what sort of symptoms the players have had. Have other players had it worse? Have other players reacted better? Is it a milder, symptoms they've all had, and it's been a bit like a sort of coldy flu type thing. But I'm sure they've been keeping fit. If they were able to run and exercise, I don't think Conte would let them get away with that. And I'm sure there's strict nutrition plans, and I suppose he's maybe even sent. I'm sure the sort of tactical team have maybe contacted the players and sent them video clips and little things that they can analyse sort of themselves of what we've done well, what we need to get better at, and I suppose what Liverpool's sort of what their weakness, if there is one, and the positives as well, and how you can try and stop them. And I'm sure he's probably used the likes of a sort of the West Ham game and how you can beat them if you defend really well, and you have good set pieces. Especially with rumoured Van Dijk out and a big defender like that. I think set pieces could be quite key today and something we need to score more goals from. But yeah, I mean, like I say, we'll find out. But yeah, it's good. It's a big game, but I think it's just going to be nice to see us play again. To be honest, it's been a while.
Absolutely. Before we break, there's been some breaking news from Paul here. Ndombele has put 3 stone on during the last break. Oh, Paul, he loves it. Yeah, going into that, I mean, hopefully it's just mild symptoms, as Matt said there. Just hopefully the players just had mild symptoms, got over it in a couple of days, and hopefully they're back out there then training again. So, Jake, this will be the other way round with Liverpool players and the team not been playing for how long Spurs have been out for. Do you think it will affect your players the same as like it will affect Spurs players today? Or do you reckon that if the professionals there should be looking after themselves? So how do you think it will affect the Liverpool players?
It's a bit difficult to say, really, because you don't know how bad they've got it. Sometimes you can have COVID and have no symptoms or anything. You just test positive for it. It is what it is. Essentially, it's nothing really you can do about it. If you've got it, you've got to rest and isolate. Essentially, I don't know. The issue is there's so many different rumours going around. You don't know who's got it. Essentially, I know we'll get into team news shortly, but
Absolutely,
it is what it is. Essentially,
well, as you say there, Jake. I mean, I'm hearing that majority of this is mild symptoms, and all around the country, it's just mild symptoms.
Yeah.
It's just flu-like symptoms, what everyone gets every year. And unfortunately, because this name begins to see, I'm getting fed up hearing it. they're blaming COVID. I mean, but it got to. I think it's small symptoms with everyone. Everyone gets cold and flu this time of year, and unfortunately, COVID has taken over the world, isn't it? It's taken over everyone's health. If you got something wrong with your leg or your health, or they just put COVID down for it. You know what I mean? It is a bit wild out there at the minute, matey. So we will go into the team news, as you said there, Jake. We'll go with the Spurs one. Matt, you can go run through this one, matey.
Yeah, obviously, long-term Ramiro's out, obviously with thigh injury. So definitely out is Ramiro. Scarlett, illness. I'm guessing that probably COVID. Well, I'm guessing we're going for.
Yeah, that's COVID. Yeah.
Royale out, although I don't know about Royale because he had it
These are all
obviously 2
questionables.
weeks ago.
Yeah, these are all questionable ones with
Yeah,
COVID.
I think Royale and Hill, questionable. Lucas, I'm pretty sure he won't. I don't think he'll start today. I think he's had it. I know he's sort of had it. I think he's one of the ones. Skip, massive miss if he's not even on the bench, or 'cause I do think he's been one of our best midfielders of the season so far. Son, yeah, that's obviously a massive miss if he's. But these are all questionable. Like you say, it's just depends how they've trained this week, how their bodies have coped with the intensity of running. With COVID, it's all about your lung capacity and things like that. And if these intense training sessions and you're being affected by getting dizzy or something like that, you're not going to be playing. But in football, we have the sports science doctors, and they'll be monitoring, blood sugar levels, loads of other things that they incorporate. So if they're on the pitch or they're on the bench, they're fit enough to be on the bench, but not fit enough to start, if that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see in a couple of hours, I suppose.
Well, the thing is, Matt, most of these players here, all questionable, all trained. They've all trained this week, and as you said, it depends where they are with their fitness.
Like you say, because you may have trained well during the session, but it could be the after effects, couldn't it? The next day or a couple of hours after, If
it's still hurting things, yeah, absolutely. So, hopefully, fingers crossed that out of that pack there, Matt. Skip and Son is probably the ones in it. We hope it starts today, because they'll.
Maybe Royale.
Both ends of the pitch.
I mean, I think you'd want Royale, wouldn't you? I think I'd want Royale to start rather than Doherty, to be honest. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Jake, you can take this one, mate.
Adrian, injured. Elliott's injured. Fabinho, Jones, Phillips is injured. Broke his cheekbone against AC Milan, so he's out. Van Dijk out. Now the rumours are, from what I've heard, it's obviously all not confirmed by the club, because the club literally hide everything and they will not release anything until 3:30 today when the tea news comes out. I think the issue that we've got is obviously Salah is questionable, but I think it's more likely to play. I think the rumour got rubbished, I think. Thiago, Henderson and Origi are the three that apparently have tested positive as well, so they're at risk. So that
it goes down to they have another test late this morning. Today.
Yeah, I think they got tested this morning, but obviously that's not all going to get released before the game today. So it's literally all of them are questionable, apart from Fabinho, Curtis Jones, and Van Dijk, because they obviously missed the Newcastle game on Thursday. But obviously, you've seen the 11 I've put together. I'm going off what I've heard, but it could be anything. But if you're looking at the squad, I think if Spurs are going to win the game today, which they obviously can, I would say the midfield area, because we've got Fabinho, rumoured to be Henderson and Thiago. That's our main three midfielders that I would consider our best midfield. So I think if you're looking at who we've got available, I think probably James Milner will play in the 6, if I'm being honest. And then probably Cater and Ox if the players that are rumoured to be unavailable are not available. So I think if Spurs are going to win the game, obviously our midfield will be quite weak. So I think if Conte, his tactical analysis has got a plan to maybe exploit our weak midfield, and that's where you'll win the game today, I think, because our midfield without Fabinho and Henderson and Thiago it's not very strong, from being honest.
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. Paul says, Jake, how do you become supporting Liverpool? You should be like more of a Midlands lad.
Yeah, I'm from around the Wolverhampton area, but obviously all my family live in Liverpool, and obviously all Liverpool fans, and I've just grown up as a Liverpool fan. Unfortunately, my childhood was not very good because I grew up watching Roy Hodgson's Liverpool and being in the relegation zone. So at least we're in a better position now than we were 10 years ago.
Paul says Skippy's so underrated and unknown to the rest of the Prem. I honestly think he will be as good or better than Declan Rice. Matt, let's quickly just go on to what Paul's saying is. Skip, he's come onto the scene. Me personally, I thought he weren't going to be ready. Should have went back to Norwich, but he's surprised a lot of players, a lot of fans this season. Matt, could he be better or as good as Declan Rice if he continues this form?
I mean, I'm so difficult. I think Declan Rice, I think you've got to hand it to him. He's on absolute, fire in the midfield for West Ham at the moment. I think he's really underrated himself. He had a really good Euros. Took us through all the way to the final. If it wasn't through him and people like Calvin Phillips, underrated people that we got to that final. And I know West Ham's form's gone a bit off at the moment, but he has been good in midfield and he's key to their team. But I mean, yeah, Skip's doing his thing, and he can be just as good. I'm sure. I don't know about better because I do think they're maybe slightly different players as well. Different sort of attributes. Declan Rice he's obviously a lot taller. He's probably better with set pieces and things like that. And Skip's just more your kind of dusting everything up, but he can drive forward as well. He's got a pass on him. I think at the moment, you can't say he's on par or even the same level as Declan Rice. I think he's had a couple more years in the Premier League now, but yeah, I'm sure Skip can get there. But I don't want to. We've been here before, so I don't want to necessarily put loads of pressure on a young player. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders and he seems quite mature. I just don't want him to do the same as like what Adeli's doing. Get distracted. But I don't think he will. It seems like he's got a good people around him, unlike Dele Alli. But yeah,
absolutely. Jake, Skip. I don't know if you watch him enough this season, obviously because you don't follow Spurs all the time. But what you've seen of Skip, what sort of player do you think he's going to be, and how important do you reckon he's going to be for Spurs? And would he fit into Liverpool's midfield when they're all fit?
No, he looks a decent player. Maybe if you had asked me under your previous coach, I might have said a bit different. But you've got the manager now who obviously knows how to improve players as such. You look at his track record, speaks for itself. But yeah, you think, looking at the Spurs midfield, you'd probably think, yeah, you probably don't think you'd change him for anyone else, would you? You look at Højbjerg, yeah, you probably play him alongside him, but you look at like Dele Alli, I think miles off the player he was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And Don Belly, you can explain to me what's going on because he, 60-odd million, was it 60 million pounds paid for him? He looks,
yeah.
He honestly looks unfit. He looks not interested.
Yeah.
He looks basically like Dele Alli, doesn't seem really that interested in playing, if I'm being honest. So, and obviously, I presume he come through your academy, didn't he, Oliver Skip? I presume.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I presume he's a fan as well. So, obviously, he'll know what it means to play for Spurs, essentially, which is always a good thing, essentially. Would he get into our midfield? If they're all fit, I'm being honest, probably not. But that's just because our midfielders, that's not against him, essentially. That's just because we've got good midfielders. But you never know. Under Conte, he might fancy players that you as fans, you will think are shit, essentially. So,
I think with Conte, he likes hard-working players.
Yeah.
It's not all about ability with Conte most of the time, or some of the time. I think it's like people who works hard, listen to his philosophy, listen to the instructions, and skips. He's turned into the man. He's maturing very quickly, and he's
You die on that pitch every game, pretty much.
yeah,
You put your
yeah,
body on the line.
yeah.
That's what you have to do for him. And I think players like Dele and Ndombele are done, in my opinion. I'd personally sack them off because I just don't think we're ever going to see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. And there's one player I just want to talk about, guys. It's Harry Kane. Can Kane come over this bad form of his? I wouldn't say. I should have worded that a bit better. It's not bad form. I'll just say just the goals are not there at the minute. Matt, we'll come to you first. What's the thing with Kane at the minute? Why can't he? I mean, when he went 1-on-1 with the keeper, it's Norwich. Last season, that's going in. He's chipping it over, going in. And I think it was another game. Went 1-on-1. I think it was in Leeds game. I think.
Yep.
Shot straight at the kid. These sort of is it? Are we over? Is he being overplayed, or he's just not interested, or what do you think was going on Kane's head at the minute? Because it's not the same Kane we see from last season.
I think he seems interested. I'm seeing him with smiling back on the faces in training now. I'm hearing Son's interview. You've probably seen it, where he's talking about trying to get Harry the goals and pass it into him, and he's still, world class. What he does in training, everyone says is just ridiculous. So I maybe it's a bit of luck he needs just to get one, and then he'll go on a run. Strikers go through this. I look at Alan Shearer; he couldn't score, and then it came to Euro '96, and he got top scorer. So all the best go through these little patches. But if we're looking overall at strikers in the Premier League, Lukaku, he hasn't scored in a long time. Antonio, that's 8 games now he's gone without a goal. So I think a lot of strikers are struggling. Vardy hasn't scored in a while. So no one's really apart from Salah, no one's really lighting up and scoring a lot of goals in terms of proper strikers who you think of. He's too good not to come good. I believe the attitude's there. I think he's really happy with Conte, and I think he wants to work under him. Maybe this rest might have done him good, Simon. It might have been 2 weeks off where he can reset. He's knackered from the Euros. I don't care what anyone says. Losing another final as England captain, I mean, he must have realised in his head if he wins that Euro final, he would go down as probably one of England's greatest ever captains, especially in the modern era. I mean, you couldn't deny it. So.
Yeah.
And you've had Mason Mount come out over the couple of weeks and said at the beginning of the season he wasn't on it and he was still, upset from the Euros, and he started to get back into form. So I just think it's a bit of time, and maybe with Van Dijk out he can get one today. I don't know, but he needs a big goal, I think, to lift the stadium, lift the crowd, and lift himself as well.
Yeah. I can see where he's coming from.
I believe he's still there, Simon. I'm going to keep believing. It's not as if he's not showing any effort on the pitch. I think if he wasn't getting the chances, I'd be more concerned. But you look at our creativity; it's kind of zero at times, isn't it? So, I think we need to address that. But and then he won't stop dropping deep as much. So, I don't know what Jake thinks, but I mean, I'm sure Jake would probably maybe have him as Liverpool striker. I'm sure.
Before we get Jake's comment, we've got Adam here. Adam, welcome back onto the channel, mate. Long time no see, my friend. We haven't been around for a while, but it's good to have you back on, mate. It's going to be a tough game, lads, but he believes in Conte. I think that's the only thing we can say about this today, Matt. We don't know what the condition of the players, but if you want one man on that sideline to go against Klopp, it's Antonio Conte. Probably one of the best managers in the world, in the Premier League, up there in the top 4 at least. So he can rub shoulders with Jurgen. If it was Nuno, I want to stop.
I probably wouldn't even be doing this preview. I'll be like, Jake, I'll talk to you later, mate.
Adam, thanks for coming in, pal. We've got facts and stats. Long time no see, pal. Conte will find a way to get the best out of Kane. He's done it with Lukaku and many more players. Also, all right, Matt and Si, let's get a good result today and put that full spot in our grasp. Yeah, because Arsenal fans at the minute, they're gloating. They're beating some real shit teams, but they think they're top of the world at the minute again. So it'd be good to because some of the teams they come against, Matt, they've had a lot of injuries out. Leeds, I mean, if you're telling me that they're Kelvin Phillips and the likes of that, all their injuries, they want to beat them.
I think Arsenal played Leeds when they had more injuries than when they played us. To be honest,
Absolutely. So
they played a 15-year-old on the bench. So,
I mean, with Kelvin Phillips not being there, he played against us. I think he played at the back in it when Kelvin Phillips.
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal, I think, need to pipe it down a bit. Adam says, I think Kane has started playing much better since Conte's come in. Just need to score a goal. Lukaku. That's his stats. So, Jake, as Matt talked about Kane there, he thinks the rest has probably done Kane a lot of good. Having been on the Euros, lost the final, he must have been nagging his head, didn't get the City move. So a lot's gone on with Harry Kane over the last couple of months. So do you think this guy is too good of a player to go through the whole season in this bad form where he's not scoring a goal? Do you think it could be like today? It could be the Kane performance today. He can come up against a Liverpool side that's in form and come up with the goods today, and hopefully get Spurs a win, continue this Conte's run. So, are you worried that Kane can come and ruffle some feathers in that Liverpool's back line today?
Yeah, firstly, Kane, he has shafted my fantasy team so bad that I've had so much faith in him scoring, and I'm getting blanks every week. It's driving me nuts.
That's me and Antonio, mate. I fucking need to take him out. Yeah.
Literally, just captain Salah every week.
I do. Yeah. That's what everyone does.
Oh, you know what'll happen today? He scored. Was it the Newcastle goal he scored in the league? Or was
great finish.
Is that the only one he scored, or he scored any other ones?
No, he's only scored one in the league, I believe. Yeah, he's hit the post. Yeah.
And let this thinking, guys. Davinson Sanchez got more goals than Kane this year, so
is Origi.
I like Origi. I actually do.
Origi, mate, seriously.
I'd have him as a backup. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, you'd think what he probably wanted Conte, if he knew he wasn't going, because I think he pushed the City move, I think, all summer. And you probably understand a bit when the move didn't happen. He was probably a bit dejected, probably not merely as motivated to play as such, and especially when you had Nuno in charge. Spurs were a disaster with Nuno. So you think he's got the manager essentially that he might have wanted in the summer.
Yeah. So
essentially he's got no excuses now in terms of needing to perform. He's got the manager to do it. He took Lukaku in terms of he was an absolute dross at United into £100 million striker again. And you look at Lukaku now; he's not been the same player since he left.
Absolutely not. I can see where you're coming from. Yeah,
he can work with strikers. Look what he did with Diego Costa as well. I know it's going a bit back, but he turned Costa into an absolute monster when he come in and won the league.
Yeah.
So you think, if he'll know what to do without him. So you think I'd have faith. Essentially, if you had Nuno still in charge, I'd be a lot more concerned. Essentially, but you've got the manager now, who obviously you probably know more than us. That obviously you've got January coming up, so he can buy players around him and such in terms of maybe a creativity issue, as you've just said. So, but you'd think one goal going into 2022 is
mental. It's mental. You wouldn't have thought. Even though he couldn't get the City move, you'd have thought he'd have got more goals than this.
But we all know when he gets one, and he'll go on a glut of a run. He will. He'll get. I reckon he'll get ones and twos, and he's too good of a player not to. If you keep giving him chances, he'll score.
So okay at the minute, mate. He's not getting younger. That's the problem.
Yeah,
he's not getting younger. He's come to 29 next year, or is he 29? Or he's 28 now, or something like that. So he's not getting no younger. We need someone to play alongside him, or to give him a rest to play.
Or to go right. You've got to play out of your skin every game now because I'm
absolutely. We haven't got that, have we? We haven't got that. We didn't get it, and this is why I think we're like Dovlatovic and the players have been linked. Like we need someone like that. We don't need he's like second strikers that come in, just play second fiddle. We need someone who's actually going to make Kane stand up again and scoring goals. I mean, so Adam says it's good to be back on the channel. Afternoon, Paul, Matt, Simon, and the panel. Big up, Jake from Derek. So to me, I'm not worried about Kane's form at the minute. I think he will get back to his base. He don't come a bad player overnight. They say form is temporary, class is permanent. You know what I mean? And I think Conte will get the best out of him. And he loves playing with Conte at the minute. He said Conte it's really good. He wants to sign another contract. I don't know how true that is, but so Jake, and Liverpool got an advantage then over Spurs with the match conditions that the Spurs players are going to be in today. We haven't played, Matt, is it 4 games now? 1 through the snow, 3 through COVID. So,
yeah.
So 3 games, 4 games now, Jake. Liverpool, I think they've had majority of their games are on. The players are going to be more fresh. So is it an advantage today? Or do you say, nah, I don't see it as an advantage. I think Spurs are at home. They'll come out. They'll be firing. So how do you see this, mate?
A bit of a difficult one, really. I'd probably expect Liverpool to have the majority of the ball today in terms of the general play. Advantage probably maybe slightly in terms of we'll be a lot more fluent, I think, in terms of with the ball and stuff. I expect probably Spurs for the first 10 minutes to sit in your back 3 or 5 and just assess the game essentially in terms of where you're at in terms of fitness and stuff. In terms of your starting 11 and such, how bad a few players had it in terms of how much can they play it and whatever. Advantage I'd probably say yes, but essentially, if you're in a sticky situation, you've got probably, along with Klopp, probably the most passionate manager on the sideline. You'll get the crowd going essentially, so that'll obviously help you out. But in terms of general play and stuff, I'd probably say yes. I probably would, but essentially that doesn't mean we'll win the game. But you never know. But I'd probably say, does it give us an advantage? Probably yes, because you're probably not match sharp and stuff in terms of general play. So yeah, I'd probably say maybe a little bit, but essentially a game of football, so anything can happen.
Absolutely. Matt, do you reckon what Jake just said there, that Liverpool players could have an advantage over our players that come into this game? Do you think that's going to be a massive effect on the outcome of this game today? Whatever goes down, can you say, it could have been a condition of the players? I mean, it shouldn't be played. And I mean, we don't know any excuses to want to hear nothing. But do you think Liverpool come in an advantage? With most of their games have been played, and Spurs haven't played for 2.5 weeks now.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose they've got games in their legs, and you can be fit, but are you going to be match fit or game fit for the Premier League? These guys are going to be used to the intensity, whereas we've had like I say, 1 or 2 weeks off. But if I know Conte, I'm sure he's put that Premier League intensity into his training. I mean, you're pretty confident of that.
In fact, Matt, he's out there. He's had him out there every other day. Apparently he's been working them very, very hard.
I suppose as well as it could be people say it could be a negative. Having this break, it could be a positive because it might have given Conte time to work with other players in terms of the time he needs, like a mini sort of, little pre-season where he can do the training, he can work on what he wants from his team. We were starting to see it, weren't we? And then it's just annoying that
that's what I'm saying, Matt. It was kicking in, innit? It was kicking in. That
it was.
I mean, we had them 3 good games. We beat Leeds, Norwich, Brentford. Okay, we could probably say Arsenal fans could say about us, you've only beaten them 3, but I think we've beaten them teams with good players playing for them. You know what I mean? Say about the Arsenal at the minute. So yeah, I think Liverpool will have just a slight advantage. I mean, the players wise, I think who have fresh legs. But going on to the tactics side, I think as you said there, Matt, Conte's probably worked in Conte's favour. Like, he could have worked on some of the stuff he wants to improve the team, especially on that back line. So be interesting to see how fit these players are, Matt, today. We've got Dareth, Viva last Sussex Hotspur.
Cheers, Dareth.
As a City fan, isn't it, that Dareth? Yeah.
Yeah, Dareth. Yeah.
So we go into the teams. Jake, we'll bring the team that you sent me. Where is it? It's here. Sorry, Jake. I'll bring you back in a minute. So he's gone with Alisson, guys. Robson. Is it Konate? Yeah, Trent, Ox, Milner, Keita, Salah, Jota, and Mane. Jake, take us through that team, mate. Who's the weak links? Who's the strongest points in there? Who we got to look out for?
Well, I'm going off what I've heard. That team probably won't be the team, but in terms of COVID and stuff, that's what I've gone with. Salah could be out, and then I presume Firmino will come in. But he's just come back from a really long hamstring injury, so I'd rather him not play, if I'm being honest. In terms of the weak links, I think you can see it on there, the midfield. I think if you watched our game against Brighton, that was one of the worst midfield performances I've ever seen. We just got overrun at Brighton, essentially. We're 2-0 down and probably should have won at Anfield. So we essentially just got played off the park by Brighton. In terms of weaknesses, I'd probably say the midfield. Obviously, in terms of strengths and stuff, if he plays, I think you've got to look at, obviously, Salah. I think he's going for a record today. I think he scored and assisted in his last 15 Premier League games, which is absolutely... I think he just joined Jamie Vardy's record, I think.
Yeah.
From 2015-16. So if he scores or assists today, he breaks another record. He's got 15 goals and 9 assists already in December. That is insane numbers. And I think he was 7th in the Ballon d'Or. Was... I think a bit of an insult to him, for being completely honest. But then I think Trent's in good form as well. He scored an absolute cracker the other night. That's our main, in terms of creativity. Our fullbacks are so important to where we play in terms of creating chances and stuff, because I think you look at the created chance, I think Trent's I think he's either top or he's second, I think, in terms of chances created. So I think, obviously, Trent and Robinson will be so key today, because obviously you'll play with your back 5, essentially, or 3, whatever you play. It depends. What will Conte do with, I'm sure it'll be Reguilon and Emerson that will play, or are they out with COVID, or will it be them two that will be playing? So in terms of, will he tell them to get forward, or will he sit in a 5 and play on the counter, essentially? I don't know what Conte will do today. But if you can stifle our fullbacks in terms of nuffling their attacking qualities, it will prevent in terms of how many chances we create, because in terms of midfield, we don't tend to create a lot in terms of, because they're normally just workhouses in midfield. Obviously with Fabinho and Henderson normally, but it might be a bit different today because they're not playing. So, but yeah, in terms of attacking, I'd probably say obviously Salah's in good form. Jota's doing well as well. I quite like Jota. He's got 9 goals, so he's producing, good numbers. Mane's a bit hit and miss. Sometimes Mane can be good. Sometimes Mane can be absolutely woeful.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So it's a bit hit and miss. Obviously, Firmino loves a goal against Spurs. I have to reiterate that. He loves playing against Spurs. I just think in general, when was the last time you beat us? Was it the 4-1 at Wembley? Or have you beaten us?
Seriously, yeah. That was the last time we beat.
Spurs got anything against Liverpool, isn't it?
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and it is, Jake. It is, and that's the worrying thing coming to this game as well. You know what I mean, the form that we come into.
Bit of a cursed fixture for me. This one, it seems like you always get a penalty, or you score a 90th minute equaliser, or
own goal. Absolute last time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So So before we bring Matt's comments in today, we've got Keith Edwards. How's it going, pal? First time I've seen you on here. Nice one, pal. I hope we don't defend for 60, 70 minutes. That's the thing. We can't do this. Conte, I don't think Conte will. If we do, I think we will lose. A score draw would do. Thanks for coming in, Keith. Adam says Milner's still playing football. Thought he was like 50 or something. Fair play to him. And we got N17 White Lane. And was it Agego? Time Harry Kane, Angelo. Time Harry Kane stepped up if he wants to match Mo Salah's level.
He's nowhere near his level.
I think this season, no, not this season, but I think season's gone. Yeah, he's up there with
last season. You'd say he was up there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. So, I think over everything, he is up there with Mo.
They're both different players, I think. They're both very different.
Mo Salah loves coming in from that wing. You know what I mean? That's
Salah's got Salah's got pure pace. And
absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
I see Salah as a main number 9 and out. He more comes in from the wing, isn't it, Jake?
Yeah. More of an introverted forward, essentially. I'd probably say what he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice one for coming in, pal. So Matt, that line up there, what Jake gave us there, that midfield. That's the midfield today. Milner, we know what Milner can do.
He's a good player. He's underrated, that guy, I tell you.
Yeah, don't let his age muffle you. He's telling you, you're talking to a player who works hard for a manager. This is a guy who works hard for a manager, Milner. But I think we can get at him. I don't think he's got 90 minutes in his legs at this stage. I'll be surprised because Jake, you probably can see he's quite a fit lad.
He's a machine. Billy the machine.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ox, another one. You don't know what you expect from the Ox.
He's not a bad player on his day. He'll drive forward. He works hard.
And this will give him the motivation because it's Spurs.
Yeah, he doesn't like
Spurs. And he doesn't like Spurs. So this and Salah, you just don't. You know what you're going to get from Salah. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's quite consistent. And as you said there, Mane. I've always said about Mane, Jake, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong on the day.
Very direct, isn't
he? Yeah, he's very direct. He gets the ball. And Jota, I'll have him over Firmino. I love
Jota. Jota's much better, I think.
Yeah, me personally. So I think he's a good number 9 up there for you, Jake. I think he's a good focal point up there. But I think we can go at that midfield of yours. I really think, as you said, Jake, I think we can.
I think you can.
Depends who's in ours.
If we got a Nobly and Winks, well, that's it. It's game over, isn't it?
We're fucked if it's them two. I would rather have Liverpool's 3, yeah.
Trent and Robson are always worried about them two guys. Robson ain't been on nowhere near the form. So is Trent as well. Both of them really. I'll say more Trent really, Jake.
Because Trent's been insane.
Yeah, that goal.
Really poorly.
It's poorly, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I say. He did start the season very poorly, isn't it?
But recently, because we had Costas come in, he was like, a lot of fans were saying he probably should be starting ahead of Robertson because Robertson for weeks was terrible.
Like, who's that? Shimikas?
Yeah, he was really good. Like in terms of going forward, he was been a lot better than Robertson. But
yeah, he's decent.
Because I remember a lot of journalists were starting to ask him like, is like Costas like number 1 now because Robertson was so poor. Like not so much defensive side, but just going forward, there was nothing there, and it's probably why we started in a couple of results like West Ham and Brighton and stuff because he was just so poor in them games.
Did Robertson have COVID?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I don't think so. He got injured. I know he had an injury at the start of the season, but he seems a lot better recently.
I watched him the other day. He was good, but you know. I saw things, the other day where I was like, Newcastle, did get at your fullbacks, didn't they? Like St. Maximan, obviously he's a handle, but they had chances, in fairness to him, because Trent goes so far forward. I think he'd have to be. I think Liverpool are going to have to not. Well, I know they play a high line, but it is a risk with Son in behind. I do think that.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, because I remember a goal you scored. I think when we come to your stadium last season, it was when we were in a really bad run of form, and I remember Spurs.
And you come away with a victory again.
I remember Son scored a goal. It was like the first minute. I knew it was like a toe offside, but we cannot play a highlights, especially without Virgil in. Obviously, Spurs pitch is massive, essentially, isn't it? So you'd think we just need to play a lot with width, essentially. So
I think midfield's the key today for either team to win.
Yeah.
Whoever plays better in midfield, I think, wins the game.
So again, we won and lost, essentially.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Angelino comes in and he says Harry Kane is the spine of our team, and time if he accepts that and works on his new role.
Working, though. I don't understand what people are saying he's not working. Like, he's trying. Like, he's working hard. He's just... It's going to take him a bit of a while. I think he hasn't had a pre-season. Let's be honest. He didn't have a pre-season. I think he sat back a little bit, got a bit lazy. He was enjoying the Bahamas. And then he came back to that donut Nuno and thought, what is the point?
Absolutely.
You know, they all looked crap again under Nuno. Everyone's, you can't just blame Kane. Son wasn't firing for a couple of games, He went for a dry spell, and now he's, hopefully starting to go again. But, you can't just blame one player. It's a collective. That's how you win trophies and win stuff, You have to have a team. It's not on one individual. That's why Liverpool are so good. They all work for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing I can say about Kane, though, Matt, that's why I don't think I can't put him up the top with Ronaldo's and Messi's. They go and find goals. They go and find goals for themselves.
I don't think I've ever put him in that. I don't think many players are in that category.
No, but there is people putting Kane up there like around this. But I'm saying that's where Kane needs to go to that next level. What Ronaldo and Messi need to do is when the game's not going their way, they'll get onto the ball and make things happen. You know what I mean? I think Kane's got to do that more. He does. He has. He has done it for Spurs. When the chips are down, I mean, I don't see it consistently from Harry Kane. We can say Harry Kane is not getting the service, which is correct. I mean, we haven't got that creative midfielder in there who get the ball into Kane. But I think Angelina's what he's trying to say is he's got to come and try to score goals for himself, get the ball and be selfish and go at it.
He needs to stop being a bit more greedy.
Do you remember them goals he scored against Chelsea?
Yeah,
where
he used to bang
with the ball, come inside bombs.
Yeah,
and we don't see that no more, do we? And that's
I think the problem is he's got where he's had Jose in his head. He's probably got I need to assist again. I have to play it there. I can't shoot.
I think Conte needs to get back to that level where I think it was against Conte's team.
Yeah,
that he did score that.
I mean, you did see it against Norwich though. He had that pop outside the box, didn't he? It got saved by Tim Krul with his right hand, but. Yeah, that was a good sign for me. He's turning and he's going for goal because he's got a great shot on him.
So let's get into Matt's lineup, Matt Gomery's team. And sorry, Jake, we'll bring it back in a minute. Matt, got him.
Yeah, I'm here.
As well, we don't know who's fit. We don't know who thinks.
I've heard different things now, but this is the team I'd probably most likely want to see, or maybe one of Skip or Højbjerg, because I do think you need one of them at least.
Yeah, we cannot play Ndombele and Winks.
We will get rinsed, honestly, because Ndombele doesn't work hard enough, and he won't do the tracking and that. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be Lloris in goal. I'm pretty sure he's been fine. I don't think he's had anything to be honest. Touch wood. And then I think Ben Davies has got to play, and he's that left-sided, centre back. I think he'll be key at trying to help Reguilon out when he bombs forward, especially when Trent's coming down. He's got to stop the crosses coming into the box. Dyer, whatever we say about him, he's been really good this season. I think he's done, he's shown leadership and he's commanding his, his that central role. I think he suits a back three. Davinson Sanchez, I still have question marks about him, but. I suppose maybe against someone like Mane or Salah, you need that pace, really.
We need that pace a bit. Yeah.
And then I think it would be the two of Skip or Højbjerg, or maybe one of Skip and then maybe Winks or someone like that alongside him.
I've heard the Celso could be getting a game.
He'll work hard, but he's only just come back from an injury, so I think he'll be on the bench. It's an option.
I wouldn't be surprised seeing Dele in there. I would not be surprised, Matt. I would not be surprised. So.
If he's playing, that's one in midfield out.
Apparently, someone said that Ali's been
playing for their places, isn't
there? Ali's been one of the fittest ones around the camp at the minute. So it sounds like he hasn't had it.
Do it on the pitch then. Let's see it on the pitch, not in the gym.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping it'll be Reguilon because I think he's been brilliant at left wing back. Emerson, I mean, I think he's more of the not going forward type. I think he'll be sitting back a little bit more. I think you kind of see that sometimes. And then I think it'll be a front three of Son, Kane, and I think Bergwijn will get a go because I'm pretty sure Lucas has had it reasonably bad, or like he was in that list of people. And I think if you're going to play Lucas Moura, you need him at his high energy.
Yeah,
coming
on. He could be a good
exactly.
player.
Could be a good player. So yeah, I'll go Bergwijn. I think maybe it's his time. Maybe a chance as well.
Absolutely, Matt. So Jake, I don't know if you've seen that team there. What Matt put up there, matey. He's gone with obviously Hugo in goal. Ben Davies, that's a left centre back with Dyer and Sanchez. Regs and Emerson making up the four. Yeah, I think that's how Conte wants to play the 3-4-3. So that's how I think he'll go. And Pierre and Skip, as Matt said, I think what Matt's hearing as well, I've heard the same, that both of them may not start. It's looking like Ndombele and Winks. That's what's hearing. Or an alley in there. So,
look, he's open for it there. Prince of his midfield.
So then obviously hoping Son, without all the players, Matt, all the players that we mentioned today, I haven't seen Son in training. I don't know if I missed him. I've watched a 3-minute.
I have seen him.
Right. Yeah. I watched a 3.5 minute clip yesterday, and I didn't see him in it. That was the worrying thing.
A lot of people saying they hadn't seen Pierre, and then admin posted a picture of him in training. So I think the only one who was missing was Reguilon because he was doing training on his own because of his injury. So he might be a doubt. Maybe.
And after his misses as well, said Gareth Bale plays country.
Wait,
I sent you that, didn't I? I sent you. Yeah.
Which country does Gareth Bale play for? She said Wolves.
I'll send you it, Joe. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Oh, brilliant. I think that's how we'll go with Matt. I just don't think that what's coming out in a minute, the noise is like that. Maybe Ndombele and Winks in there, or an alley. So Jake's like going, he's like Rodney's hands.
Well, the rumor I've heard does not sound like the rumor I've heard does not sound like the best team or a confirmed starting 11. But yeah, I'm not too confident looking at that. But yeah,
we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Jake, if it is Pierre and Skip starts in there today, can that cancel out your midfield there? Is that good enough? There's a lot of energy in Skip. He does all the dirty work for Pierre. He pushes up a bit more, trying to join that front three. So do you have enough in midfield to handle ours today if it is Skip and Pierre in there?
I don't know. Personally, I think you should play a midfield three of Ndombele, Dele Alli, and Harry Winks, but that's what I think you should go with. But it's difficult to say, really, because obviously different systems and stuff. I think.
Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because them three can come bite you in the arse. So,
but to be fair, I think if he was to play all three, I think he'd go to a 3-5-2, because I think he'd play Dele or Ndombele in the 10. And I think he'd play Kane and Son up front. I couldn't see him playing them three in like an anchor three of midfield.
Not a chance.
We would get destroyed.
No, yeah, absolutely. So you see that team overall compared to your predicted lineup, Matt's lineup. You worried?
I have to be honest, boys. I understand you might have improved under Conte in terms of defensively, but I look at your back three and I think we can get at you in terms of Dyer, Sanchez and Ben Davies. I think Sanchez has got a mistake in him.
Yep.
But I think, I think we can get at you and be honest. I don't think your back three's strong. I understand you've got Romero injured. But I think if Salah plays with Mane and Jota against your back three, I think we can get at you. But then essentially, you might have a good defensive display, or you might have had time.
I think Jake at the minute, Conte's he's improved, not even replaced any of the players. It's just improved, gone back to basic defending. He stopped hoofing ball up. He's made him more composed on the ball now. We've seen that with Eric Dyer. He's bringing the ball out of the back. He's passing now instead of just because that's what Dyer's doing. It's a humping ball all the time.
Yeah,
Ben
that's
Davies,
that's why he's better in the middle because Dyer used to
Yeah,
play midfield, so he can bring the ball forward.
With Davies, Jake, as Matt will say as well, I'm one of these critics, but he's improved since Conte's come in, mate. And I think he will surprise you today because what was with Davies. You won't see much attacking. He'll sit and he'll do his job. Conte will say, just sit there, do your job.
When he does go forward, I'll tell you what, mate, he's got in some good positions recently.
And he's got a good shot on him as well. He's got a good shot on him as well. So, but with Davinson Sanchez, I can agree with you. It's a mistake waiting to happen. He's reckless. He's got a yellow card waiting to happen as well. So I'm a bit worried on that side.
But then he can have a really good game, can't he? And it's so frustrating. He could have like a brilliant game, and then the next week he'll do a clanger.
It's a shame we haven't got Romero in there, Jake, because since he's come in, mate, he's been a revelation to us at the back. So composed on the ball, what he does and what he's bringing. I think, you know what, with Romero coming in, that could have helped Dyer and Davies as well. Having a real good defender. I mean, knows how to defend, knows how to play the game. So I think you'll be quite surprised of how Dyer and Davies can play today. But Sanchez, I can agree with you there, mate. I really can. But looking at your back line, without Virgil van Dijk, mate, I think we can get up yours, mate. Seriously.
I do like Matip, though. I actually think Matip's underrated.
Yeah, very good. And Konate, what I've seen him
to
in
think of him.
I'm not
I
sure.
heard Klopp have a massive go at him the other day. He gave the ball away, didn't he?
He's too sluggish, Jake. What I've seen of him, mate. He's not. I don't think he's hit the heights as he yet. What he was at Leipzig, he was really good at Leipzig under Upamecano. So I think he will come of age. I think he will come good, but at the minute I don't think. But I think we can get at him as well. I mean, so both ends, Jake. Both ends we can.
Why hasn't Konate started? And where's Joe Gomez as well? What's going on with him?
So, in terms of why he's not started, it's because Matip and Virgil van Dijk have been first choice, and them as a partnership, it's one of the best in Europe. It's so good. Because of complementing off each other. So that's just why Konate's just not played, because essentially if you've got Matip and Virgil van Dijk fit, you're going to start them essentially.
Absolutely.
Joe Gomez is a bit worried, if I'm being honest, because he didn't start the other night and he's fit. So essentially he's 4th, 5th choice centre half at the moment.
It's surprising because I like Gomez.
He's decent.
He's a decent fit. I'll have him at Tottenham, me personally, but if he wasn't given game time, we will give him some game time down at Tottenham. I'm sure about that. But as Matt said there, surprised not to see him. Because he was quite a regular.
He was the up and coming one, wasn't he? He really was.
Yeah, absolutely. But Matt, as I said, the two you got there before Virgil come out with there's two very good defenders in it. I'm a bit more upbeat without Virgil van Dijk because he is, I'm telling you now, probably one of the best defenders in the league, and he's a massive miss for Liverpool. Whenever he doesn't play, mate, seriously, a massive miss. And I think we can get up there. You're back too, because I think Trent and Robertson, they tend to go like high up sometimes, and the gaps are there, mate. We can exploit them 2 gaps there as well. We've got Angelo says there, this is Antonio Conte. We're talking about Harry Kane has to match that same passion as the conductor wants to see for the whole team. I totally agree with what he's trying to say there, matey. Dyer is bound to mess up, always does against Liverpool. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. We always give Dyer, Davies enough stick on him, Matt, innit? But where credit's due, me and Matt will always, if they have a good game, and we'll come out and I've seen improvement, and hope it improves today.
I think we need Davies because he's our only left-sided centre back with a left foot.
Absolutely. So we'll end it, guys, on the predictions. Then, actually, quickly before we end up with the predictions, players to watch out for Liverpool side. Jake, give us a couple of players that Spurs will have to look at. We know what you're not 100% with the lineup, what's going to go, but a couple of players that you think will start and maybe we've got to look out for.
I think Salah will play. So I'll go Salah, Trent. I would. It's different. I wouldn't say anyone in midfield because I don't see him as in terms of a player to watch out for. Do you know what? I'm gonna go with Jota actually because I think Jota will play. Whether it's the 9 or the left wing, I think Jota.
I think he'll play as a 9 today, me personally. Because I think Marnie's better coming in from the left. I think.
Yeah, Mane's hit and miss. He's just so frustrating to watch because
absolutely.
You scream because he can do something like incredible, and then next minute he can't pass to someone 5 yards next to him. So he's frustrating. But if he's on, when Mane's on it, he's incredible. The player he was, you don't think he's the same player he was a few years ago, but he's still a threat for Spurs essentially.
Absolutely. So nice one for that, Jake. Matt, quick some Spurs players that Jake has to look out for today. Any surprise ones that you think will start, and maybe, do you know what? I think he can perform. And people have got to watch out for him.
I think Ben Davies is one to watch out for. I really do. I do think he's been good recently. I really do.
Yes.
Obviously, Son. I still say watch out for Kane. I do think he'll surprise a few people today. I don't know why I've got that sort of feeling that he's due a big one. He's due a big game.
What do you mean a big game? Brace, hat trick?
I don't know. I feel like he's due. I feel like he's due like a winning goal or a big goal, like to get him going again.
Maybe we can do with some luck scoring in the last minute or injury time. What Liverpool or an own goal by Flipping whoever. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. I don't know. As long as he's not Trent, because I got him in my fantasy. Yeah, I think Ben Davies, I think Kane, Son are the obvious ones. I feel like if Bergwijn plays today, I don't know why, I'd maybe think he's due some sort of game, or he's playing for his sort of position, or we're putting him into the shop window and saying, look, go and play well, and there's clubs looking at you. If you want to go to Ajax, go and put on a performance today, or it's the same with Dele as well. If he's likely to start, I'm not saying he's one to look out for, but if he knows he's been put into the shop window, will he start to perform again? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what Levy's scared of. If Dele comes on, plays against Liverpool today and gets a goal and performs like he never has over the last couple of years, you know what I mean? But to me, the players, for me, Harry Kane, as you said there, Matt, it's a massive game for him. I think the whole team today, Matt, got to stand up and grow some fucking balls, innit? They've got to grow some balls today, right? And go against Liverpool toe to toe. I mean, stop flipping, because I think some of the players, mate, they come up against Liverpool, they freeze, innit? It always happens, innit? They freeze and
I just think it's about time we beat them. Just because of what we've, Champions League final. I'm sure that's still in their head. I'm sure it still is.
Champions League final was a farce. I mean, and no way out. I've seen it so many times now. It was there. I mean, that just literally. I mean, the game wasn't even started, was it? You know what I mean? But then it just finished the game. You know what I mean? But just going back to, I think Conte needs to have that passion. Before the game, he needs to fucking tell him, fucking go at him. I mean, let's have a fucking go. Don't just sit back. You know what I mean? Because we sit back, it's game over. You know what I mean? Can't sit back against Liverpool. I think we need to go at him. I mean, especially if that midfield, if it's that midfield, and I think that back line. I mean, especially back to Liverpool, we can get at them. We need to show some balls today, some courage and passion. I mean, it's no way of just turning up saying, if we just lose against Liverpool 1-0, it's not. We can't. The attitude's got to go. You know what I mean? I think that's the reason why over the years we don't beat Liverpool, because we go with the same attitude all the time. Oh, if we just keep it down to 1-0, it's fine. It's no good. So I think Conte will get him going today. I really will do. And then it comes into prediction, guys. Jake, we'll come to you, mate. Where's this game going to sway? Which players are going to turn up today? Which one's going to get the winning goals, own goals, or whatever? Who's going to win this?
I'm gonna back my team. I think we've won every time we played at your stadium. I think the 2 times we've been there. The 3-1 last season, I think won 1-0 the year before. I think Firmino scored.
Yeah, that's when Lo Celso missed that bloody sitter,
yeah.
wasn't it? Oh, we
Mourinho
deserved
was
a point that day.
I've got back my team.
There have been tightish games though. I mean, apart from last
Wanyama
season,
with an absolute belt on it.
Oh God.
we've been unlucky at Anfield a couple of
At
times.
Anfield, we have been very unlucky,
Last
mate.
season, we should have beat Liverpool. At
Oh,
Anfield.
mate, that was
Bergwijn hit the post,
Bergwijn
didn't
hit
they?
the post. You think you should have won the year that Alderweireld scored that own goal when Sissoko was 2-on-1.
Oh my God! And he bloomed it over the bar.
I saw that on Twitter about 10 minutes ago. It was a GIF. Someone shared it. I was like, oh, fucking hell. We didn't just balloon it. He put it out the roof.
Prediction. Oh, I think Spurs will score without Van Dijk. 2-1. I'll go with 2-1.
2-1. So Jake's gone with 2-1. And who said to get the goals?
I want to go with Konate because you just are saying he's a weak point.
It was just assassinated him, man.
You know
I thought you would have said Fabinho just because he loves scoring against us. But yeah,
I'm gonna go with a penalty as well.
Standard. Yeah, penalty bingo.
Oh, come on.
Penalty bingo, Salah.
Oh.
Fantasy points. I need fantasy points. I need Salah to get a penalty. Oh, I'll go. Yeah, Salah or Milner penalty. Well, either play. We'll get a penalty anyway. It's the Spurs.
Matty.
Go on, back Spurs. Go on.
No, I've got like more. We've got a really good top class manager, and whatever will be today. I think it's we can't let it, whatever happens, affect our season. But I just think we're due something against you. I'll go. We'll nick it 2-1, and I fancy Harry Kane to score the winner. I don't know why.
Fair
or
enough,
Ben Davies, because you have a go. Ben with a left foot screamer.
Before I give my prediction, guys, Angelo says Alex Arnold took the player to watch out, and Nora for us. Adam says the absolute scenes if Delhi comes on.
If he scores today,
I'm done.
No, he scores, but scores the winner. You know what I mean? Scenes. True will be mad. Angelo's going with 1-0 Spurs. Adam said, I said I believe in Conte, so I'm going 2-1. Angelo says we'll get 1 goal and defend it till we die. Come on, you Spurs. Me personally, it's going to be an absolute tight game. It really is. But I don't know how fit these players are. That's what's going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to fatigue. Who's the fittest? Obviously, we know Liverpool.
Liverpool could be tired.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to be Liverpool players admit that they are match fitness than the Spurs players, but they're professional, so it should be really ready for this game. But as if it was Nuno, no chance. I really know.
4-0 Liverpool.
Seriously, but with Conte, it's a different game now. Seriously, and you probably say, "Oh, how can the manager just change it?" I think he has. I think he's come in, bang his backroom staff, even his backroom staff.
I mean, look at Klopp changing Liverpool. I mean, that a manager makes a hell of a difference.
Absolutely, and I think the players are responding to Conte already. It's very hard training to go. It's very hard, but it's intensive. It's really good. So, to me, if that's the Liverpool side, it's going to go out there today, Jake. Especially if Salah doesn't start. Massive miss as well for you. But even if he does start, I just don't think we're going to lose. So I am going to go out with 2-1. I think there's going to be mad scenes today. I've just got a feeling there could be a Dele Alli goal in this. It seriously can be. It could be something like that. Some mad scenes. But
I think it'll be scrappy. I think it's going to be a scrappy game with those two midfields. I think they're just not It's
Not-
not both
it's
not
no
our starting
creative.
midfield, is it?
Yeah, it's not much creative in there either, is it? Just cancelling each other out like a chess game. But
Probably and Dombele
to me-
doing about 1,000 step overs. And
yeah,
then uses the ball.
yeah. So I can see Spurs just nicking this. I really do. I think Kane's gonna get on, and I think mad scenes. It could be Tongi coming on. It could be Delhi coming on, just getting this winner. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool do win it. You know what I mean, because I won't lose the excuse either. As it's COVID, I won't. I mean, we've got to give credit where credit's due. So to me, I'll go 2-1. I think that's where it will end today. Is there any news on who's fit to play, Darren? There ain't, mate. There's been no update. I don't know if Jake's got any more updates there, but
No,
I
Okay,
haven't
Matt,
heard
you've got-
anything. All I've heard is Man City's lineup and Chelsea's lineup. I mean, Chelsea
Right.
have got so many COVID. It's
I've
ridiculous.
seen their bench.
Yeah.
Their squad is.
Mate, they've got no striker. There's 6
They've got
players
no-
on the bench,
yeah.
isn't there? 6 players, 5 players.
It's terrible,
Two
isn't
of
it?
them are goalkeepers.
Wowza. I mean,
I can't believe they didn't pull that one off. I mean, 8 players out. That's
absolutely.
I don't like Chelsea, but I feel that's quite harsh.
But the thing is, Matt, as well, I would not be surprised if he does go with Winks and Tungi today before we go
Yeah.
off, because we have got West Ham on Thursday in that cup. So I
Yeah.
would not be surprised.
What would you rather win?
Do you know what?
I'd
know
love
what?
to beat West Ham. It's a cup.
I love to West Ham because
Yeah, I
I
think I
fucking hate
would.
them bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, Liverpool.
They need
I've
to be.
got
They
lots
need
of
to be
respect
shut
for.
up a little bit as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's no disgrace getting beat by Liverpool, but I hate using that word now. We've got a good manager in there now, Matt. It's about time we go toe to toe with these kind of teams. You know what I mean? We haven't seen over the years. You know what I mean, we just turn up and say, yeah, it's only Liverpool. If we keep it down, I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? But it's about time we go toe to toe with Liverpool.
and,
it's the only way. It's the only way you can play against them as well. You've
Yeah.
got to go round. You know what I mean, and to me, I don't know. Don't know if we've got the energy to go at
We're
them.
getting closer to January, Simon.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. So, guys, firstly, Jake, thanks for coming on, pal. Absolutely
Top man,
pleasure.
Jake.
To give up your time, mate. To come on. Good luck. That's all I'll say, mate. And we're doing a
May
little
the best
fans
team
call
win, I
later.
suppose. Yeah, may the best team win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. And co-host always here, Matt. Thanks for coming on as well, mate. To giving up your time. So, guys, we go again. Games on. Bar any couple of hours. I don't think they're going to call this off. I don't think they're going to do a Burnley Watford. What they done the other night. That's disgraceful. 2 hours before kickoff, Watford fans already there. It's absolutely
Bad for
disgraceful.
the fans. Poor for the fans.
Well, bad for your bloody fantasy as well. I was going to put
Yeah.
Watkins in.
Oh, my fans.
Glad I didn't.
It's-
I had to play 3 hit this week. I was like, I've got to. I had 6 players playing. I was like, I've got to get more.
Angelo says, "Come on, you Spurs." Andrew, thanks for coming. Everyone, thanks for everyone in the chat that's come on today. Adam as well. Big up to all you. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely. So thanks for everyone's coming on. So guys, let the best team win, and just hope we go out there with some fucking balls, some passion today, and give it to Liverpool. I mean, because I hate when we don't just turn up. Do you know what I mean? Just rack up and just roll over. Very easy, and this is why we get called soft bellies at what I mean, Matt. Soft touches. You know what I mean? Because that's what we've been over years after years, mate. It's about time Conte installs that flipping passion in there. So, guys, we're going to do a fans calling later. If Matt's available for an hour, it won't be 1 hour. That's it. That's all I'm doing. If Matt's available, are you available, Matt? We're going from 8 to 9. We're going from about 8 to 9, guys. That's it. So, if Jake's available, you pop on. So I'll say after the game. Don't go hiding, Jake. Don't go hiding if Delhi scores, though.
If Dele Alli scores,
So, guys, thank you very much. 8 o'clock tonight, guys. Come on, and let's see some of you in the chat. Come on, just have to save a couple minutes for the fans calling. So, we've been Premier Hotspur TV. I've been Simon. This has been Matt, and this has been our special guest, Jake, the Liverpool fan. Good afternoon, guys. Go enjoy the game, and yeah, we'll leave you with this, guys. Come on, you Spurs. Come on.
Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. It's all the boys banging on the noise.
See you soon, guys. 8 o'clock tonight. Don't miss it. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, Spurs.
Come on, Spurs.